It's a huge misconception that scratch golfers go out and just shoot even par every time. Well, today I'm at Cobblestone Golf Course outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm going to take you through my round and show you what scratch golf actually looks like. Make sure to subscribe to follow along, and we're off to the first tee. We're playing the tips at 6,700 yards and starting off with a 525-yard par 5. It's a pretty narrow first tee shot, so I was a little bit nervous, so I tried to start this down the left side and take it back into the fairway, but just missed it left. I can't go for it in two, so I'm forced just to punch out.
Well, it's out. That's what's important. Take a look where this ball ended up. Obviously, we get relief, but it's probably an animal hole. So I'm gonna be careful getting this out of that.
After I took relief, I had about 95 yards left up the hill. Kind of a blind shot since I'm down in a little crevice, but I hit a 60-degree and hit a pretty nice one here.
Oh yeah, go in. These greens seem pretty crazy and not very big, so.
This is a really good look to start the day, but I don't hit my best putt, leave it out to the right. But hey, a tap and par on the first isn't the worst thing in the world.
Par on the first, we like that.
Cobblestone only gives you one warm-up hole because the second hole is the hardest hole in the course. 466-yard par 4. It takes driver out of your hand because it's really narrow up there, so I have a 2-iron and it goes just down the right side. I'm well back here, have over 200 yards with tree trouble on the right side, so I have to try to fade something left to right. I have a 6-iron here, and it's just going to miss left at the green.
Oh, it was the number.
I'm left with a very difficult chip shot. The pin's on a high plateau, and I have to land this perfectly, and luckily it rolls up there really nice.
Pretty good. I don't know if you can see that slope on camera, but that's a really good shot. I'll take that all day.
Slippery little 5-footer down the hill, and I just hit a really bad putt here. Pull it, and it gets away past the hole, so little comebacker up here, but I drained it for a bogey. Hole 3 is a 196-yard par 3. We're actually coming at it from the left side here. Difficult shot. I have a 6-iron, water's right, and that's kind of exactly where this ball goes. I think it may have a chance to hold up, but when we get up there, you'll see it ends up in the water.
So I came over this bunker, and it must have kicked in. So we're taking a drop, hitting 3. There's the hazard line, so see what we can do here.
I've told you guys I've been yippee chipping on this trip, and that's exactly what I do. I blade this thing right across the green. Not a good shot from there. I have my bogey putt from about 55 feet up the hill, breaking left to right, up then down, and it's coming down towards the hole, and I'm pretty happy about this one. But this right here has to be the worst lip out I've had in my life.
Well, yeah, that's not good.
Not good indeed. That's a 6 on a par 3. Neither here nor there, though. We're on to a drivable par 4. Every good course has a drivable par 4. This one I'm taking 5 wood. It's playing 291 yards. Obviously, jail to the right. We can't go right. So I hit a nice one just short left of the green. Here I'm trying to practice what I preach with a bump and run with a 52-degree. A long pitch up the hill. Carries a little bit too much speed and will run past just off the green in the fringe. It's sneaky quick down this hill, and if one lip out wasn't enough, there you go.
Wow, that even rolled out past that. Well, it's a par.
Definitely a good bounce back after a triple, but we got a tough little par 3, 157 yards with a pin tucked just over the bunker on a slope. It's extremely narrow with only about 10 yards to work with, and I hit a pitching wedge here. It bleeds a little right and will trickle down away from the hole. Well,
I don't know if you guys can see on camera how significant this hill is, but we're on the wrong side of it. It's okay though, small green.
This putt's all about speed and getting it up there on the top platform. I hit it what I think is hard, but barely gets up the hill. I have 5 feet left here for my par, and there it is again, a slight lip out.
Oh my gosh, and it rolls out too.
Little knee knocker bogey putt to clean it up. I jam it in there and try to get out of there as fast as I came in. We move on to hole 6, a complete 90-degree dogleg left, 395 yards. Happens to be car path only today, but we're taking a 2-iron and finally make a good swing. Hit this thing down the middle, and it's drawing to cut the corner just a little bit. 160 yards left. There's a huge hill in front of me, but I take a 9-iron. I'm able to get over the hill, finally make a good iron swing for the day. This one will just miss right of the pin on the green, though, for a birdie. I'm tired of the putter acting up, so I'm just trying to 2-putt this thing down there. I don't give this enough respect. It breaks on me right away, but luckily, I'm able to clean this up for my par.
Well, I can make pars, so at least I know I can do it.
Hole 7's a gettable par 5, 522 yards. Very narrow tee shot, though, so I'm taking driver, trusting my fade, starting down the left side and having it come back. I make good contact on this one, and it's right down the center. About 235 yards left, uphill into a breeze, so I'm hitting 2-iron, and I hit a really nice one here.
Right at the center of the green. Might be too much. Oh no, right at the center of the green.
I've finally given myself an opportunity, about 40 feet left for eagle, breaking left to right like crazy. I don't play it high enough, and I'm going to leave myself a little knee knocker, 8-footer for birdie.
Not play it high enough.
This one breaks a little left to right, so I trust the line and hope for the best.
There we go. That's big. Nice birdie there. So we have a monster par 3, 240 into the wind, really narrow. Got 2-iron, just really have to put a good swing on it.
The pin is 240, but it's in the front of the green, and I smoked this one. It's going right at the pin, but I hit it a little bit too good, and this 2-iron goes about 270 and will leave me with probably the longest putt I've had in my life. I'm not kidding, this was a good 100 feet from the back to the front of the green, and I get this, maybe halfway. Not my best work there. I'll have a tester little putt down the hill left from my par. I seem to be underreading everything, and I don't even give this a chance. We'll tap it for a bogue, and a bogue on a 240-yard par 3 isn't too bad.
Well,
finishing off the front 9 with another par 5, 570 yards, but it takes driver out of your hand because it's a crazy dogleg left. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of par 5s that don't let you hit driver, so I try to take a 2-iron here and I hook it, but luckily it comes down the hill and in the fairway. I'm forced to lay up with a 4-iron because I'm well back and hit a nice one down there in the fairway. About 85 yards left for my third shot. I flared this one a little bit out to the right with my 60 degree, but luckily the hills in the back of the green helped me out. I didn't want to underread any more putts, so I played this one a little bit higher than I thought and it didn't move, but again, good par to finish out the 9. Taking a look at the stat sheet, I hit 4 out of 6 fairways, 5 out of 9 greens, and the putter has to heat up, not my best. 41 on the front and we're on to the back. We start the back 9 with a 394-yard par 4. The fairway runs out, so I take 2-iron here and flare it a little bit to the right.
Hit that so good too, it's just tailing a little right.
Another one of these huge mounds right in front of me. I have a pitching wedge here from about 130. I'm on such an upward slope that this thing flies in the sky and ends up short. A near to impossible short-sided chip shot. I'm just hoping I don't blade this thing across the green, and luckily I get it up there. I have this left for my par. I hit it right on line, but don't give it enough juice.
Right in the center. That's unfortunate.
I don't love starting out with a bogue, but we're on to hole 11, 428-yard par 4. I have a 2-iron again. It gets a little bit narrow up there. I hit a nice one. It starts down the left side and fades to the center. I was in between clubs here, 130 yards. I have a 52 degree. It's a little bit into the wind, and I hit this really well, but it's just going to come up short.
Oh, shit.
The yips come back and bite me again. I hit a terrible shot here. I have this left for my par. Not very makeable. I get it down there. I'll tap in for my bogue.
Gotta hit greens.
I can't trust my short game, so I have to hit greens. We're on hole 12, 422-yard dogleg right, par 4. I have 2-iron again. Haven't been able to hit driver a lot, but I hit a nice little fade, starts down the left side, ends up in the right fairway. I have 9-iron left into this par 4. I'm just looking to get something on the green. Can't trust the short game, like I said. This one starts down the right-hand side of the green, comes back with a nice draw. I think it's right on top of it, but it ends up just short. I have a long putt left for my bird, up the hill about 40 feet. I'm just looking to get something up there to tap in for par. I underread it a little bit, but make a par. Happy with that. Fairway green 2-putt. Hole 13 is a tricky par 3, 201 yards today, into the wind. I have a 6-iron, looking to keep this right because there's water left. I put a good swing on it, starts just right of the green, is trying to draw back, but it just hangs out there a little bit. Nonetheless, though, a good shot on the par 3. I'm always a huge proponent of putting it if you have the chance to, so I'm just off the green here, down the hill, looking for a good putt up there. Have a little bit of chicken left on this thing, but I tap it in for the par.
That's good par.
We're getting into what I think is the harder stretch of the golf course, 462-yard par 4. I have driver here, finally able to rip it. It hit a nice one, starts down the left side and comes back. Only 9-iron left into the par 4. I'm looking right at the center of the green. There's no point on missing left, but I overdraw this. I think I lose my focus a little bit. It hits the left side, and I think it's going to trickle down to the bunker, but it stays up. Tough shot left. It's kind of sitting up in some fluffy rough, and I catch this one a little bit hot. I don't skull it over to the green, though. I have a putt for left for my par. Seems to be the common theme of the day, underreading putts. That one was a little bit better, but again, tapping for the bogue. We move on to the next. Hole 15 is a cool hole, pretty much a 90-degree dogleg right, par 5, 530 yards, definitely reachable if I hit it well. It kind of takes driver out of your hands because fairway runs out, so I take a 5-wood and hit a nice one.
Okay, we got 220 into the breeze with a 4-iron here into the par 5.
They do say when it's breezy, swing easy, and it is true because when you swing hard like I did here, it's going to put a lot of spin on the ball. I'm really lucky this thing actually held up. It's going to hit on the left side of the green, and I have a really long putt for eagle. So I have about 80 feet left for my eagle, and I'm tired about my putting stats. They're not the best today, so I decide to putt it off the green. No, I'm just kidding. I hit it way too hard here and it ends up off the green. This could be the first time I've actually putted it off the green, but I have a birdie putt nonetheless. I tap it up there. Tapping for my par, a little 3-putt par. Not the best, but not the worst. Hole 16 is a short little par 3, 128 yards, water left, and this is an awful swing. Full on chunk, I'm lucky this thing stays up. It's going to be short of the green.
Yeah.
This is a tough little shot here. I'm going for the bump and run, but the fringe kind of sticks out a little bit, so I have to cover it more than I'd like. I end up hitting a decent shot. Just to give myself a putt is nice. The flat stick hasn't worked all day, but we're finally able to get one to go.
Thank goodness.
Hole 17 is a quirky little hole. Water left, only 315 yards, so it is drivable, but with the way I'm hitting it, I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I'm just hitting a 4-iron down in there in the fairway. 85 yards left, this should be the go zone, but I don't commit to this shot at all. I flare it to the right, and this is not what you want to do in this situation.
That's how you make a mess of a short hole. Gosh darn.
I'm left with a really tough bunker shot here. I hit a nice one, kind of flares a little bit to the right, and it's short. I'm not really sure how it ended up short from that lie, but it did. Again, underrated putt. We'll tap in for a bogue. One more hole to go.
Not a confident stroke.
Hole 18 is not an easy one. 439 yard par 4, bunker right, a double green up there. Not an easy shot. I have a 5-wood here because the fairway gets skinny. I flare this a little bit to the right, and it might end up in the bunker. 130 yards left from the fairway bunker. I have a pitching wedge just trying to get this on the green. Luckily don't chunk it, which I was expecting to happen. This ends up just left of the flag here. I'll have a putt for bird. A decent look at bird, but it's a long one. I have to get this up the hill, get the speed right, and just completely misread it. Not my day, not a good putt, but we're lucky to clean this thing up for par. Overall, that's an 80. 9 out of 13 fairways, only 8 out of 18 greens, and an ugly 36 putts. And hopefully this gives you an idea that scratch golfers can also have bad days.
So Cobblestone Golf Course gets an 81 out of 100, which puts it here among courses in the $50 to $100 range, and here among all the courses we reviewed thus far in this 5,000-mile golf road trip down the East Coast up to the Midwest. We're heading north now, going to Nashville, Tennessee. Make sure to subscribe to follow along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.